Hello, myself Sunil R. And here basically we are discussing actually about one topic, that is the one person told that basically I'm not getting job, and like this basically the one of the world one person told that basically let me basically try to find out basically why you are not getting the job. So that basically discussion that is ongoing, and assume that that person basically is sitting in front of me basically. Just taking as an example basically, because it would be easy basically to understand what actually is ongoing basically. Then basically one of the person told that basically why you are discussing this whole thing basically, that education this that basically 20 percentage of global warming issue basically is coming from the education. Then one person told that basically, do you know basically 70 percentage the sorry the 700 crore people basically are educated, that you know basically. Yes, I know 700% basically are educated. If basically I say that the 700% basically are the reason basically of the global warming basically, then you will be believe basically. Then he told that basically, yes, here you are correct here. This basically we never thought basically actually. We actually never thought basically. But the 700 crore people are responsible for this. That they basically are spreading that 20 percentage global warming issue. This has converted into issue basically, right? Then he told that basically no, basically basically are poor people basically. They have taken education of be somebody wants to become this, somebody wants to become that. Basically, there is one movie also basically. People basically say that for people says that basically I want to become that, I want to become that, I want to become this. Lots of people basically say that basically we want to become that, we want to become that. You know basically that movie basically is also there. Yes, then he told that yes, basically you are correct. Yeah, that movie is also there basically. Do you know basically that is one movie basically? Yes, basically we know actually. Yeah. How basically we can forget that? This is that movie basically, which actually says that basically it's basically YouTube basically. So always basically comes advertising first. Just listen this movie song basically. दोस्तों, सबसे पहले तो शुक्रिया सेकंड ईयर स्टूडेंट्स का, जिन्होंने हम फाइनल ईयर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए आज ये शानदार पार्टी दी है. थैंक्स अ लॉट. वी मिस यू. हमारे लिए कॉलेज का ये आखिरी दिन है और मैं जानता हूँ कि आने वाली जिंदगी के लिए सभी ने कुछ न कुछ सोच रखा है, लेकिन मैंने अपने लिए कुछ नहीं सोचा है. और आज मुझे बार बार एक ही ख्याल आता है. पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा, बेटा हमारा ऐसा काम करेगा, मगर ये तो कोई न जाने मंजिल कहाँ. So this was that basically song basically. In this song basically they say that basically lots of people are going to this, lots of people basically are going to take this education, this education. But these people don't know, right? That they are basically entering into 20 percentage of the global warming issue, which is basically actually generated by set of other groups basically. That is basically created by the other groups basically. And due to this problem basically 20 percentage from 100%, the global warming has reached to 20 percentage of the education sector only basically. Then 1% of the basically we have already created the education sector, yeah. And from the education sector, basic for example, 1,000 city basically is created for the MBA. For 1,000 city for BTech basically they have created 500 city. For BTech city basically they have created 500 city, yeah. But one person told that basically global warming basically that 20 percentage global warming, the root basically place is that only basically that 500 city basically. The education basically, the ideas basically from where basically you are getting, then that only idea basically you are getting basically. If you are getting, then basically it might possible that the global warming previously it might be 10 percentage due to education. As the basically education industry basically started into commercialize, they basically started into do the business like this basically it converted 20 percentage basically. Then basically this is 100% going to increase only basically one day. One day this is going to increase only basically. Then few people says that basically is this the plan basically done by the group, those group basically who says that basically we will always work from home. Then basically they basically told that basically they told that basically is this the plan basically by those group basically who are working from the home basically. Then he told that basically that not possible, yeah, basically they don't want to come out, they don't want to come out basically. Then he told that basically yes, yeah, you are correct, yeah, they want to come out basically. They are not basically going to stay at the home and only basically for the for a long period basically. They will come out basically. So they basically are not they are basically it's not their plan basically. Basically they might not be have got the birth also basically. This education system is basically more than very old basically, before the Hitler basically. And lots of people say that Hitler is Gujarati. Yeah. Then basically one person told that basically, then who are Gujaratis? Yeah. Then basically, literally basically they asked the question basically, who are Gujaratis? If Hitler is Gujarati basically, then who are Gujaratis? This also basically the question basically one person basically literally asked, because he told that basically education sector is basically created by India is basically created by Hitler, and lots of country basically are created by Hitler basically. That's why basically that person told that basically Hitler basically just taken the birth 200 before only we are. But education system is very old basically. Like this basically you can't say that basically the education sector is created by Hitler. You can't say like this basically. Like this basically you can't blame anyone basically. That Hitler is basically from Gujarati basically. Like this basically you can't blame like this you can't blame it anyone. Then he told that basically that's why basically I am always taking the each and every sector's example basically. First is education sector basically. That basically is containing 20 percentage of the global warming issue basically. That basically how it is previously it was 10 percentage, now it is 20 percentage or 21 percentage. Why? Because this is getting spreaded basically. How basically people basically are taking the education of MBA. MBA is created from that 1,000 city. MBA basically degree is created from 1,000 city, and that college basically is connected with that 1,000 city. That 1,000 city is already basically having the global warming issue. Why? Because that 1,000 city is spreading the global warming issue. The idea basically are getting from that area. Previously it was 10 percentage. Now basically it has converted to 20 percentage, 21 percentage. The reason basically they are giving the idea, and there basically ideas are also basically like that only basically. Then that person basically is itself basically is spreading the global warming, that also you can say. So like this 700 crore people basically are spreading the global warming. 700 crore people basically are spreading the global warming basically. 700 crore people basically it's a normal, it's not a small amount basically. And then basically few people says that basically healthcare department is there na basically, they will take care of this all the. And then health, he told that basically healthcare department is also 200-year old or basically. Then he told that then what they are basically doing from 200 years basically. Then he told that you are correct, yeah, basically you are correct basically. Then basically he started taking the print of each and every cities basically, sorry, each and every country basically where the education basically has spread it. So first basically he taken that, this basically we have discussed. Then also basically I thought basically this should repeat the discussion. First basically India, basically they told that basically this many 500 universities are there, more than 5000 colleges, sorry, 5000 schools are there, and then basically more than 5000 in more than 50,000 institute basically more than 1 lakh basically institute basically are there. They are basically taking the education basically, and the education basically are the these ideas only basically, right? When they were reading the thing basically, how basically their blood cells is basically taking the each and everything basically, that's basically from idea basically, that is basically the education, sorry, the power company taking the data from that each and every place basically, and then basically they are sending the data to the each and every institute and each and every colleges and each and every house basically. And sometimes basically they spread the data to the garden also basically, because lots of people say that basically we like reading in garden also, like this basically things are there basically. So 700 crore people basically has basically spreaded the thing basically. Then into the basically, basically they don't know basically they are spreading the thing basically. You can't directly blame that basically the 700 crore people basically who have taken the education like B Tech B, they are basically spreading the like this basically. You can't say basically you are also basically taken the BCom degree, right? That means you are also basically, then he told the, yeah basically. Then basically he told that basically this basically where basically the buildings basically exist here basically, where are those ideas basically, where from where the each and every basically ideas are coming basically. Then one person told that basically there is one ad, do you remember basically, एक idea जो बदल दे आपकी दुनिया. Yeah, basically somebody has told this idea, but who, which person basically, that I don't know. Somebody has told this basically, but which person basically, that I don't know. Some basically Bollywood person basically has told this, and basically there was some writer basically who has told, and that means writer basically was up to what deep level basically has told basically. That means one person told that basically the advertising basically which is coming in the screen basically, which is coming in the TV basically, up to what deep level basically they're thinking here basically. That means they basically know each and everything, or basically they don't know anything. Then basically that was the question basically asked by the one person basically. One person asked this also basically, that the Bollywood people know everything. This 20 percentage each and everything basically. Then basically told that basically they might be knowing. Yeah. Otherwise basically how they can say that basically the एक idea जो बदल दे आपकी दुनिया. Literally basically change the world basically. Then basically he told that this is the future plan basically, he has told. He has basically, that person basically who has told this, he actually told the future basically, that एक idea जो बदल दे आपकी दुनिया. So बदल दे दुनिया, that was future going to come, that he basically told that basically. That basically was also a question basically. Then he told that basically he's just an actor here basically. He don't know actually what he's basically, he might be understanding basically, but he's not the writer basically. Writer basically writes the thing, and basically he basically just tells the basically. Then he told like, yeah basically you are correct, yeah, you are 100% correct. Then one person told that basically who is the producer of this year. Then he told basically there might be someone here basically. I also don't remember actually what was that idea about the that ad also basically. That might be some fruits, or basically I don't know, fruits or some vegetables, or basically it might be some cloth idea basically might be. Then he told that basically it might be basically some clothes, or basically some idea might be. Then basically he told that basically the Bollywood group basically know everything basically. This basically question actually somebody asked. Somebody they asked the question basically. Then basically he asked the question basically, who are this Bollywood group? Yeah, basically. Then basically you should know basically who actually Bollywood groups are. Who are these Bollywood groups basically? Literally basically he asked the question only basically. That means these people basically know that education sector basically are creating issue basically. Then he told that basically you can't basically, then if the Bollywood people basically know this, then they might be 100% might be basically trying to solve the issue basically, because they people basically are very helpful basically. Then one person asked the question basically, Sunil basically I went to six per time basically in Mumbai basically. That time somebody helped you. Then he told that yes, yeah, nobody helped. That basically is also correct basically. Like this, he basically told that basically they might be trying to solve the issue basically. Then one person told that basically you went to for six time to Mumbai, any issue was solved basically. Then we told that no, there was no issue was solved. So like this basically, few people says that basically Bollywood basically are working on under some producers basically. Whatever the producer basically say, that only basically they are going to do. The producer basically who, they are big businessmen basically. Yeah? They have invested the money in the education sector basically. And basically nowadays basically you can't believe this basically, the education sector basically has converted into the business. Business mean one person basically asked what is actually business? What do you mean by business basically? Literally every word, every time you are talking business, business, business. What actually business is? Then basically he told that basically previous time basically when the world basically was not having the currency, they were doing the doing the transactions of the transaction basically what will not be good basically. They might be exchanging the materials basically. That basically you need this material, okay basically you take this and basically give me whatever basically need I have basically. So they basically have the data basically, who basically have the materials basically. So this is the best example of business only. Just the difference is that basically system was called as a barter system basically, barter system. That basically why they have given the name basically that the dictionary person only basically can understand basically, because this word basically each and every people are going to speak. So what the thing basically it's going to generate, because this is also connected with education basically. Some person told that basically you're speaking too much, Sunil. And one person basically one HR people basically told that basically you don't speak here basically. So like this basically what to do? You are speaking too much, and one people are basically telling you are speaking too much basically, and one people are telling basically you are not speaking anything. So that is basically also education. Why? Because they have basically told someone basically tell tell like this basically they are telling this. Like this basically one person told that up to what level the Bollywood group basically knows. Then he told that basically they actually might be, it might be basically the Bollywood basically has created more than 55 years basically, right? Then they told that basically education is very old. So it might possible that Bollywood basically might have launched, reason basically was this only, that they might be basically try, they will basically try to solve the global warming issue by the movies creation. That's why basically they might have created the show, like movie, each and every movies souls basically, souls any atma basically, when it enters to the lady's body basically, then basically birth basically gets, but the condition is sperm is basically must, without sperm basically it will not get generate. So birth will basically happens with the condition of the sperm basically. So like this basically he told that basically the souls basically which basically created, that is basically for this or what, for to basically solve the global warming issue basically. Then basically then the person basically who was sitting in front of that Sunil R Nair, he basically literally told that yeah basically I actually entered this job, yeah Sunil. I basically already entered in this job basically. I am basically joined the World Bank also basically. I also joined the World Bank also. Then he told that basically let's start basically. Then he told that basically it might possible that World Bank basically so one person basically of the World Bank basically, that person basically was sitting in front of that particular person. He told that basically let me draw each and every diagram here basically. This is basically converting into big matrix. Then he told that basically yes yeah basically it's basically converted into big matrix basically. You are correct. This type of metric basically World Bank basically might be having of the each and every banks basically what they are creating, up to what level they are doing the investment, each and everything basically. Then he told that basically yeah basically we need to create the metrics also. Like this the metrics creation also basically started. Like this basically the issue basically was again back to that Bollywood group basically. So has Bollywood group basically told by someone that basically you create the human souls basically of the each and every movie basically, because movie creation is not so easy basically, and it's basically very expensive also. The producer do the producer production basically, but the main target is this only, that is human soul creation. You just watch each and every movie basically, and then basically you connect to the nuclear energy public basically, nuclear energy group basically, they will basically tell you basically that which type of human souls basically this basically is going to convert, and when this is going to generate the birth basically, then basically what a birth, what which kind of child basically it's going to birth, which kind of child is going to come out from the body of the ladies basically. Then he told that basically we need to find here basically that Bollywood group basically are doing some solving problem, or basically they are doing what actually, because 500 rupees and thousand hundred rupees they are basically taking here. Let me see basically, let me basically, because we are investing the money here basically, we are sitting in the World Bank's chair basically, and you know basically how hot chair it is basically. Sometimes basically we can't sit also basically. Just now basically I am not sitting, I am standing only basically, because I can't sit basically in the chair also basically. Just see basically the global warming issue, 20 percentage basically error basically is a global warming issue, and basically this 20 percentage issue basically has converted into big level issue basically. So entire 700 crore people basically have infected from this 20, means they are spreading the 20 percentage, and the 20 percentage is increasing basically. So that due to that reason basically the Bollywood group basically entered. So in next video basically we are going to see basically why Bollywood groups basically entered in the Earth planet. That is basically Bollywood groups are basically in India only. In outside India basically they are Hollywood groups. So let me basically see basically why basically the Bollywood groups has entered, and basically what type of problem basically they are solving. So in next video basically we are going to see this only basically, that is the global warming basically, for global warming basically which type of groups are doing which type of solution basically, giving the solutions.